Okay, welcome to the Chapter 14, Accounting for Sales and Cash Receipts, Section 1 presentation lecture. In Section 1, we are going to be taking a look at, now we are accounting for a merchandising business, which means we are going to be moving past, or moving out of the sole proprietorship, so to speak, and take a look at some more advanced concepts in regards to keeping track of accounting records for different types of business structures. Now, a couple of new terms you need to realize when we talk about accounting for a merchandising business is retailer and wholesaler. There is also a chart of accounts on page 355 in your textbook. So take a look at that and then ask yourself the question, what's different? Because when we take a look at a merchandising business, retailers and wholesalers are going to be big time contributors, and they are going to also impact how the accounting records are kept. A retailer is a business that sells to a final user, and a wholesaler is a business that sells to a retailer. This is all part of a process of getting the goods and or services to the consumer. Now, if we take a look at the operating cycle of a merchandising business, this is similar to the accounting cycle. Now, the accounting cycle is still going to be followed in this type of scenario of keeping accounting records for a merchandising business. But when it comes to the process of the merchandising business, this is kind of the background of how things happen. First thing that has to happen is the organization itself has to purchase the goods in order to resell them, or purchase goods that need to be utilized in order to make a product that is going to be sold, purchasing of the raw materials. After that has been done, then the sale of goods is for cash. And then also, it could also mean that the sale of goods on account. Both of these types of actions are going to happen within the customer. So the customer is either going to purchase items for cash or on account. If they are purchased for cash, then the cash is immediately collected. However, if it is purchased on account, that means it's going to go into our accounts receivable. We will hold it there temporarily until we actually receive payment of cash from the customer. Once that happens, then we can move over into step 4 where the cash is received. If the cash that is received is going to exceed the amount of expenses that we have, utilities, employees' earnings, rent, miscellaneous, amongst others, then we are going to be generating a profit. And again, when you are in business for yourself, or in this case, a merchandising business, you are attempting to make a profit. Now, a new account that is introduced is merchandise inventory. Now, we take merchandise inventory and we combine them into one account. However, let's define each individual piece of the merchandise inventory account. Merchandise is goods bought for resale. And inventory is the items of merchandise the business has in stock. So we put these two together. These are the goods that are bought for resale that we still have in stock that we haven't used yet. Merchandise inventory is an asset account. Asset account means it's going to have a debit side normal balance, and also which means that in order to increase the value of the account, we must debit the account. Now, the sales account we already know as a revenue. When it comes to revenue accounts have credit side balances, which means that in order to increase the value of a revenue, we must we must credit it, and to decrease the value of a revenue, we must debit. Now, next time we meet in class, we are going to be going over demo problem 14.1. This is included in classroom along with the presentation lecture. So if you were to take a look at it, or just reference the slide here in the presentation lecture and see how well you can answer the questions for this particular problem. We have 1 through 4 on this slide, followed by 5 and 6 on the following slide. Again, as I mentioned, we will be going over the solution to this and working through these problems together in class. However, if you feel like you can do them on your own, go ahead and give it a shot. And that will conclude the presentation lecture for section 1. We'll see you back here again later on for a chance to give you a presentation lecture on the material that is going to be introduced to you in section 2. I will see you next time we meet in class.